Hi, I'm Sean Reardon, Mayor of Newburyport, and welcome to the latest edition of the Mayor's Corner. First things first, I've got to get this out of the way right off the top of the show today, is happy birthday to my mom. It is my mom's birthday. It's February 5th. She turned 73 today. I don't know if she wants me to tell everybody that or not, but she turned 73 today. And I couldn't tell you more how lucky I am to have her as my mom. And we all love our moms, right? I definitely just feel like I hit the lottery with mine. Couldn't be more supportive, not only now, but throughout my whole life. I was very close to my mom growing up. My dad was a teacher and coach, and my mom had a variety of jobs besides raising myself and my brother and sister. Finished her career working with my dad in special ed at the schools. So, she was, one of 6 kids here in Newburyport. Her father was the fire chief. Just Newburyport, class of 1970, just, everything that's great about Newburyport, I would say is great about my mom as well. But again, I just wanted to say happy birthday to her. I just, again, feel very fortunate that I still have her and my dad in my life and that they're still here in Newburyport and they can experience all these things that I get to experience with this job with me now. So I hope Mom has a great day. I call her Pitta, but I hope Pitta has a great day. And I can't wait to celebrate with you later this week. All right, what else is going on? So we've had a couple snow, we have had some snow. We had more snow in January than we did all of last year, right? And it's weird. So my first year in office, right? I think 2 days in, we had to call our first snow emergency because we had a pretty decent sized snowstorm come in at the time, and we had a couple that first year. The last 2 years, though, we've had some pretty mild winters, so we haven't had to deal a lot with snow. And so now here we are. We've had a couple back-to-back incidents. We had a couple very small snowstorms this past weekend, and we got a lot of calls about it. So first I want to apologize for that. When it's such a small amount, the DPS has to make a decision. Do we put the plows down and scrape, or is it more about treating and salt, right? And so this past weekend they decided to go with treating and salt over putting the plows down. And I think people noticed around the city. I think people thought that we weren't out there doing anything, but the fact was we had just made a decision to do a certain, sort of remediation for the snow. So we're not going to do that again. I think we're going to be ultra aggressive moving forward around making sure that we are dropping the plows and getting all around the city. And again, this might just be one of those winters that it's just not as mild, and it might be a lot of these little storms, which kind of brings us to tomorrow. So this is Wednesday. So on Thursday, we are going to be calling a snow emergency. We're seeing reports that we're going to get anywhere between 3 and 6 inches of snow. So the blue lights will go on tonight at 6 p.m., but the parking ban won't take in effect till tomorrow at 9 a.m. And I know this is tough. It makes it a lot easier when we have these snow events at nighttime, right? Because it's easy to get everybody off the street, and then you're unshoveling and you're getting your cars cleared the next day. This being that we're going to get the height of the snow is going to be around lunchtime, it makes it difficult. And again, we have to do it in a way that we're helping our DPS get out there and keep us safe and keep the roads open. So we are going to do the parking ban. We'll be out early tomorrow morning treating the roads, and then again, hopefully keeping up with the fast storm, because eventually it will switch over to rain tomorrow late afternoon and night. But it is going to be some pretty intense snow around lunchtime, what we're thinking. We haven't made decisions on schools yet, but I know they're talking about that. They're keeping me in the loop. I believe Council of Aging will also have some announcements about their programs tomorrow. And just also today, and this came up over the weekend, we do have an ordinance in town around clearing your sidewalks after snow events, right? And like I said, the last 2 years we haven't had to worry about this as much. I believe it's like section 12-52 of our city ordinances is around, removing, and I know the council passed this a number of years ago, but it's about, you have so much time to clear your sidewalks. Streets I'm particularly concerned about are Merrimack Street, High Street, and Low Street. And then I would say probably a little bit of Water Street too. But these are our main roads in town. There are access to schools. There's our access to stores. And if you drive around a little bit after snowstorms, there's definitely some places that do it right and do the right thing, and there's others that don't. So that's why we put out a little reminder today about that. This is something we can enforce, and it's a $50 fine for not clearing your sidewalk. I certainly don't want to do that. But again, I also want our residents to be safe as well. So this is the reminder that we sent out this week. You might see a little something in the paper about it this week as well. Just reminding people that there is an ordinance in place, there's an enforcement mechanism in place, and that, this is one of those things that you've got to do to help, preserve our public ways, is help us keep those sidewalks clear, after snow events. So just a little reminder on all of that, and as always, be safe out there when roads are slick during the day. And like tomorrow's gonna be one of those days like we had with snow a few weeks ago when it was more around rush hour time. Now this is gonna be around lunchtime. So again, the roads are gonna be a little bit dicey for people during the workday. What else is going on? So Brown School, we had a meeting last night. We had a meeting of the Planning and Development Subcommittee of the City Council. They took up the disposition order. I thought they had a really good conversation. It's funny, we're all getting used to the new schedule that the City Council is operating on. Like, for example, they only have one meeting this month. The old schedule, they'd have 2 meetings every month, except for they usually took 1 meeting off in the summertime and 1 off around Christmas. But besides that, they'd always have 2 meetings a month. Now they're on this kind of stretched out schedule, so they have fewer meetings. So, for example, we only have 1 meeting February 18th. Coming up this month, and then 2 in March, and then April and May each only have 1 meeting. So from the administration standpoint, this makes things difficult, right? Because there are things that need to get through council in a certain cadence, and now we've kind of taken that cadence away and stretched it out, so it takes even longer for things to get through. The disposition order is one of those things that it's now going to take a little bit longer to get through council. But I think we have a good plan, and I don't think it's going to impact Zeta Insight, who is the developer that we picked to do this project. I don't think it's going to affect their ability to go after certain funding in the short term, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that. So the hope is that by March, because we do have 2 meetings in March, that by that second meeting we'll be able to get, I would imagine at that point, at least the disposition out. The zoning might take a little longer, but at least the disposition we should be able to get out, which will allow Zeta to go out there and actively pursue some of the funding that they need to, because those funding windows only open at certain times. So I do think we're going to be okay for Zeta to go after some of that funding. And again, this is going to be a long process with this project, right? I mean, we're talking about years just to get to the point where you're able to put a shovel into the ground. And we're thrilled with the plan, we're thrilled with the project, we're thrilled with the city council support so far. Obviously we're thrilled with we're working with a great developer. So we're definitely moving in the right direction, but I just wanted to give everybody a little heads up of where that is. The zoning piece will also be taken up in March, and that's when the planning board will get involved a little bit as well. Again, we're not trying to do major changes to that overlay district that's there. We're really just, for the most part, wanting to account for the extra units, up from 20 to accommodate the 29 units. So that's that. All right, again, moving in the right direction, which is great. What else is going on? So today, and this isn't something I talk about a whole lot, but I might as well today since I had the call, but once a month there is there's a couple different chamber groups that meet. One is an Economic Development Advisory Council group that I usually go meet with, and I usually give them an update about what's happening in the city, and anything around economic development, business community concerns, questions usually come up in that meeting. It's been a really great meeting, and I do look forward to that each month. But then there's also a subgroup of that it's all the restaurants in town, which again, I grew up working in all not all of them, but a lot of the restaurants in town. So that's a near and dear to my heart group. So we met today and talked about a lot of things. The biggest thing that we talked about was I brought to them Molly Attenborough, who's our Director of Sustainability, Recycling, and Energy, and also brought in a couple groups like Black Earth for composting, and then a recycling group. But we're trying to work with our restaurants around increasing composting. And so we had a nice discussion around that. They asked some questions. We're going to get them some answers. There was also a community-led group, the Wise Waste Warriors is what they're called. So the triple W's. They were on the call as well, just to talk about what they're trying to do. We had a survey go out recently to the restaurants, and so we talked about the results we got back from that survey. So the whole goal there is, we have these zero waste goals that we're trying to get to for 2030 and 2050 that are set by the state, and they're pretty ambitious goals. So again, one of the ways that we're trying to do this in Newburyport is to reduce our overall waste. And we talked about that when we went with the overflows trash program. So this is just another thing that we're trying to do within the city to bring down the overall waste that we're producing. So I thought it was a great meeting, and I do enjoy those meetings every week. So we also talked about the parklets after that. Again, outdoor dining will be here before you know it. We are paving State Street this year, but we're going to do it at the end of the season. So the parklet season outside will be a little bit shorter than their year this usual. It will end sometime in September, which will give us October time to pave the road, do some of the sidewalk work that we need to do on State Street. Hopefully right before Halloween, because Halloween was such a big success last year, closing down State Street for downtown trick or treat. So that's my goal, and that's where we're at with that right now. State of the City reminder is coming up. I know I say this every week, but I just want to let you know there's still time to get nominations in for the Public and Community Service Awards. It says due Friday, but you could probably still get it in next week and be safe. But we're going to start meeting next week and talking about the nominations that we received, and then getting our heads around some winners. That's February 26th at 7 o'clock here at City Hall. It's going to be a great event. The governor will be here. The state auditor will be here speaking. We're going to have some music. And again, these awards are is a highlight, just celebrating all the great work that volunteers are doing here in the city. So excited for that, but get those nominations in. Go to the city website to submit that. There's still some time. Boards and commissions, we're still looking for some people to join boards and commissions. Go to the city website to look, but if you're interested at all, send your resume to the mayor's office. The Conservation Commission is the big one we're looking at right now, and that's a tough one. It meets twice a month, so it's a little bit of a heavier lift, and it really needs some expertise. So if you're an engineer or a lawyer or someone who has an environmental science background and you're looking to get involved, Conservation Commission might be right for you, so please think about it. It's also election year. I'll tell you, I pulled papers this week because I'd love to keep doing this job for another 4 years. But if you're interested in running for mayor or running for city council or running for the 3 school committee seats that are open this year, you can start thinking about that now, and you can pull papers. You got to get a certain number of signatures to get on the ballot. So I've started to do that, but if you want to do that, this is the time to start thinking about it. And again, things will just get more intense as we get towards summer. But I'm excited to be running again. And finally, just real quick, Newburyport Rec and Youth Services. Not a big update here, but I talked about the site walk with over 35 contractors showed up to look at the site for hopefully the future home of Newburyport Recreation and Youth Services at 59 Low Street. The bids will be open next week on the 14th. And then from there, we're now strategizing not only how we work with the council on this, but how we work with the public on this moving forward, and hopefully moving forward with this project. But all that information will be coming out very shortly. So we are, again, this is one of those projects that it's really about, serving the mental and physical well-being of our community, not only right now, but for generations. And that's why I think it's a community project, right? It's not just for a certain subset of the community. This is for everybody. And I just think there are so many benefits to this project, and I can't wait to start having those conversations in the coming weeks and months, and making our case why we think this is the right time, right spot, right project to do here in Newburyport. And that's my Mayor's Corner. All right, everyone stay warm. It's cold out there. Be safe out in this snow. Stay healthy, and I will see you all next time on the Mayor's Corner.